All right, what are we going to get to next? What are we going to get to? Let's talk about Judge Dredd. You know why? You know why? In case you didn't know, Judge Dredd, there is a TV series being developed. Who knows where that's going to land? Quite possibly. Could it land at Netflix? Maybe. I kind of hope so. They do really well. I like the shows dropping and being binge worthy and being able to flow through it as quickly or as slowly as you want. I tend to not blow through shows. I don't have the time. And when shows come out that I'm really, really sucked into, I am lucky now to get an episode a night. It took me weeks to watch Daredevil Season 2, and that was just torturous. But the news about Judge Dredd, not only that there is a show coming, it's called Judge Dredd Mega City 1, but it's that Karl Urban is in talks to play him again. Dun, dun, dun. Karl Urban in talks to star in Judge Dredd TV series. This is from comicbook.com. Karl Urban may don the iconic helmet of Judge Dredd once again. The actor revealed at the Star Trek... Of course it was at the Star Trek Las Vegas convention. Nothing wrong with that. He was Bones. And, I did watch Star Trek 3, by the way. I finally watched that. And I didn't do a review on it because, frankly, my movie reviews just don't get that much attention. I don't know if you guys want to keep seeing those or not. So I'll keep talking about movies, clearly. I'll keep talking about movies. But just as a short note on this, not a proper review, Star Trek Beyond was okay. It's worth a watch. The virtue signaling with making, Sulu gay, wasn't the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. It was annoying. I mean, even George Takei was annoyed by that. It wasn't the right move. It was just a big fat virtue signal. While Captain Kirk was standing there smiling approvingly, it was annoying. And overall, but the film itself was fine. I mean, the weird thing about it is Simon Pegg wrote the screenplay, and he's a big Star Trek fan. And he said it would be more Trekky than the previous two installments, and it was. And that wasn't a detriment. But something about the movie, it just felt like filler. I mean, it was good, and it's worth seeing at least once, I figure, especially if you like the first two. But I can't really explain that. It was kind of like Star Trek, 5 or Star Trek 3. It really was. I mean, I'm not sure if Star Trek is going to go back to the even numbers are good and the odd numbers are less good. It just was okay. The ad campaigns for that film was god awful. I mean, it was just so bad. With the Beastie Boys soundtrack and the quick editing, I mean, they tried to market it like it was a Justin Lin film and not like it was a Star Trek film. And that was a huge mistake, and it really showed in the numbers for this movie. There was a negative press about Sulu and George Takei and all that, and I'm sure that didn't help it either. But, like I said, overall, I mean, Idris Elba was the bad guy, and I could not tell the entire film. I had no idea that was him. I was like, oh, well, that was cool. I like him just fine. He's awesome. The thing about it was, aside from the spinning camera move, which Justin Lin did way too frickin' much, it was like, okay, Hitchcock, back up a little bit. Just calm down. You get to make that move once in a movie, not 8 or 9 times. I mean, it was some of the stuff. I mean, I don't get sick watching movies, and it was throwing me off. It was just too much. But if you haven't seen it, I streamed it on Hulu. Again, affiliate link should be in the description box below. It is not. But if you have Hulu, it's there for you to stream if you want to check it out. Like I said, it's worth watching. I enjoyed it. Did not think it was bad at all. But the numbers were so disappointing on it that it's a very good chance that might be the last time we see that crew in a Star Trek film. So, sorry, back to the news. That was a big So the actor is at the Star Trek Las Vegas convention talking. Somebody asked him about it. He says, I'm in discussions with them about that, Urban revealed. I told them if they write the material and give Dredd something to do and give him a function, I will be there. I would love to. Well, that's not a very high bar. Surely they're going to do that anyway. They could always bring back Stallone. By the way, What do you guys think about Stallone's Dredd? It was plenty wrong, and it was definitely a 90s film, but God, it's a I don't have guilty pleasures because I'm not guilty about the things I take pleasure in. But if I had guilty pleasures, that would be on the list I have of guilty pleasures. I just love I just love a schlocky, huge schlocky, big budget B film. I miss those. I wish there were more of them. Has any come out recently? Have there been any big budget, just really? See, I never watched Jupiter Ascending. I heard like that was the bad. But yeah, let me know if you can think of anything that I haven't seen in recent years, because it's something that fell by the wayside. Of course, studios don't like losing tens of millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars, so I can understand why they don't happen as often, but God, I sure do miss it. So, oh God, I'm rabbit trailing. Back to Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd Mega City 1 producer Brian Jenkins previously said that they'd be interested in seeing Urban return if they could work it out amidst his busy schedule. We have had many conversations prior to this about all sorts of things, Jenkins said. He's also very busy, a full-time professional actor. So we're going to have some long and complicated conversations, I would imagine, and we'll see where we go. It's too early to tell yet, but if we can use him and he's available to us, then I think that would be absolutely brilliant. There's always a possibility he will be busy, or that his schedule for other movies won't allow. Basically, we don't know at this stage. To me, there's a lot of truth in that. Schedules do play a part in it. I mean, these guys are booked years in advance, because of the scope of films. All these guys have to be signed and contracted and done. So when all the pre-production is done and it's time to start shooting, that they're there on the set and ready to go. However, there's a lot of that paragraph of quotes that sound like, because you go back to Karl Urban, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, if they give me something to do, that'd be great. Because this isn't the first TV show he's done. He did the Almost Human TV show, which sadly got canceled after 1/2 season. It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. I think this is salary negotiations. They're trying to come up with an agreement for money. So it goes into, do you know that Judge Dredd's been running in the 2080 British Comic Book Anthology magazine for 40 years? Wow. It amazes me that this thing has been around for 40 years, and it's only had 2 films. So Urban previously starred in the film Dredd, just Dredd, which released in 2012 to a largely positive critical reception, but performed poorly at the box office. It was around $20 million. From what I can recall, on a $40 to $50 million budget, it wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good return. The film went on to greater success in the home media market and has obtained cult classic status with many fans. Sylvester Stallone previously starred as the character in the much more poorly received 1995 movie Judge Dredd, which, just so you know, I saw in the theater. I did. Rob Schneider and all. I wonder why Rob Schneider was in 2 90s Sylvester Stallone sci-fi action movies. So tell me what you guys think about this. Are y'all excited about this, or did you want to see a clean reboot of Dredd? I obviously the deal's not done. This may not work out. Karl Urban may want too much money. He may get too busy. Who knows? Nothing is guaranteed. Take nothing for granted. But would you like to see this? I personally thought that the Judge Dredd movie was a smidge too bloody. It was just a smidge too gleefully bloody, and a lot of people said that that was the tone of the book, and I have not read many Judge Dredd books, or 2000 AD, or what have you, but the ones that I have read, I don't remember seeing that level of gore. Maybe you guys have. Let me know if there's any Judge Dredd fans amongst y'all. Let me know in the comments what you think of Dredd, if you're excited about this show, if you want Karl. I would love to see Karl Urban do it again. I'll probably watch it either way. Not as much as I would like to see Ron Perlman be Hellboy again, but it's still pretty cool. And do you know, I watched that Thor trailer like 5 times before I realized that was Karl Urban in that. The boy's beefed up a little bit. I'm very ashamed of that, but I'm just confessing to you guys, just for me to you. A confessional, I didn't realize that was him, and I felt very ashamed of myself. God! I'm on comicbook.com staring at the Marvel Generations ad. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to click the ad. Haha. Now the money goes from Marvel to comicbook.com. Comicbook.com, you're welcome. Thank you for your service. All right, Xing out of Marvel. Moving on.